Okay, so today, here's me, Natalie, and
James.
And I wanted to have you talk to me about ATVing, how we got into all of this, and just let you all hear it for YouTube. YouTube, as you know, has a thing where they're trying to show more diversity. So we got together and we thought, oh, Natalie's black. And she's a girl. And James?
Yeah, and I'm Treaty Indian. I'm Cree Indian background. My grandmother was full Cree Indian. So it might not look it. I do get funny looks sometimes at the reservations when I buy treaty gas. There you have it. But if that's of any concern, it's in ways we're spoken of as minorities, even though I don't think we are. There's a lot of both around.
True.
So.
That's true. So people give you weird looks.
And it's funny to be classified. It is a really strange thing in this day and age.
How so?
Well, I'm Native, and I don't look Native.
No, I thought you were a
Caucasian person. Oh boy. Yeah. But when I have I have a younger brother. He looks a lot more Native than myself. He looks like one parent, and then one looks like the other.
Oh, really?
So he's very dark skinned, has almost no body hair. It's very.
Do Native people have no body hair?
Not much.
Oh, really?
Not much. They barely can grow a scraggly beard sometimes. Some can, but more often than not, they're not generally as hairy as a North American white male.
Oh, really? You learn something every day. I've had several Native friends, and they have beautiful long hair, but I never asked about their body hair.
But they generally don't have a big beard to go with the big hair.
That's true. That's true.
Generally not. Like they have a tough time growing, and they do. It's somewhat scraggly. It's just not the same. Having more French in my background, I grow a really good beard.
Oh, really?
It's
probably like
the further north I go, the more compliments I get on it.
Like the more you look like Santa. Merry Christmas!
Yeah, Merry Christmas coming up. No, it's really quite thick. And actually, every man should grow a beard if he lives in the cold climate at least once. Okay. It's the most unusual thing that you can't understand the insulation that it has naturally.
Oh, maybe that's what it's for.
That's what nature did it for sure. I was out riding my three-wheeler in the north, and it probably was minus 22 Celsius, whatever that is in Fahrenheit for my American friends. Really cold, below zero. And I'm doing 30, 40 miles an hour, and I'm not cold. My nose isn't cold, which my nose outside the beard, but my nose isn't cold at all. It's a very strange thing.
Really?
I don't understand it.
I think this is something called manscaping, or maybe that's wrong.
No.
Maybe, is that wrong?
Manscaping is sculpting what body hair you may have.
Oh!
No. Growing a beard is just growing a beard. Oh, boy.
So, yeah, I find that very interesting because it's so much like of a stereotype. Like, because you look like a Caucasian male, you, I guess, would be called passing. You'd be able to pass. So you could pass for being in the Caucasian world, or you'd be able to get through certain situations a bit easier. But then when you go to the Native place, which you are a part of Native,
then they might give you a harder time.
Yes.
Yes, it's bizarre. I went to a Native gas station in Saskatchewan. I want to see what town. And the lady's face was priceless. She looks at my card, looks at me, and looks at my card. She goes, "Pretty white Indian."
Oh, racism.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my
She just stared me down like she didn't believe the card.
Wow.
So I laughed. I didn't know what to do. I laughed out loud, and she just I paid for my stuff and signed for my gas, and away it went.
I find that very interesting because it's the same as you get biracial children I'm used to seeing biracial children, black children, and a Caucasian person mixed together making this brown child. But then out here more, it would be a Native. Is it Native or how do you?
Yeah, it's Native American is what they say now. I'm used to saying Indian from the old days, but it's Native American because they're the first people that were here. They're native to this land.
But this is Canada.
North America.
Okay, so it's going to be okay.
So my treaty card should extend all the way into Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if I take the States, it still can be used.
Okay, because I know people usually call me an African American.
Right.
But I've only been to America for partying.
Oh, really? That's a good reason to come.
Well, that's
We're good partiers here.
Oh, there's no, to America, right? So here in Canada, I guess I would be a Bayesian Canadian.
A who?
I'm from Barbados.
Oh, yeah.
British and Barbados mixed together, then brought here.
Well, you know what? You could coin your own phrase. You're the master of whatever it is you believe yourself to be these days.
I am off mahogany brown.
There we go.
Yeah, so that's really cool to learn that. All right. So I wanted to talk to you about the ATV.
Right.
So
that's always interesting to me.
Absolutely. How we met was that we'd go riding as a group, and then I'd be like, that guy can really ride his bike or his ATV. He'd be going on the river and stuff, and doing stuff that I was like very impressed with, because I was like, oh, I wish I could ride like that. That's really cool.
Easy to impress when you start at the beginning.
Yeah, well.
She'll get better.
So as I get better,
then the shine of me will maybe go away. So some people still think it's something, but.
Wax on,
yeah.
Wax off, always. Yeah. So
but it's good that, like, you remind me of myself that way. Because when I was very young, I have an older brother, and when he would ride, I would watch him go, and I was always extremely impressed. Like, wow, I want to learn to do that stuff. Mm-hmm. And so you have to have some spark, some reason that you're interested in whatever it is. It looks cool is good enough.
Yeah.
Whatever your reason, get off your butt and start living your life. And I thought it's a cool thing. I can go nearly anywhere my imagination can take me. And you can't jog, run, pedal bike the distances that I can do in a day and see what I can see and still get home same day. That was a big appeal to me, is that I'm the master of where I can go, and you just can't see that much of the world. There's so many highways and tourist traps and whatever have you, but sometimes when I go riding, there's no road.
That's excellent.
I make a road. I remember my favorite ride probably ever with my friends. There's only 3 of us willing to go, and we literally had to pick the bikes up and throw them over knockdown trees, and 2-3 guys lift the bike over. That's what we're going to try and do to get through. One time I got pictures of this somewhere. A very deep, short, shallow river, probably maybe 8-10 feet across, and I saw a bunch of trees broken down around the area, so we just winched them over to the water's edge and tied my tow rope through them like a weave, and drove the quads across the logs to get
That's excellent. That's what I'm talking about.
Fun. That is fun. Like, people, I've also had the other way, where I ride with some people that are scared of their own shadow. I'm never going to say names. No, I wouldn't say that.
I lit it out really well, so I don't think there's any shadows.
No, I wouldn't say names, but I went riding with this one girl. She's a friend of my sister's and a friend of my own. I know who she is. And we went riding. I wouldn't say we got lost. We definitely knew where we were. We were at my cousin's place. It was very familiar. It's like driving in your backyard. Like, it just happens to be a few hundred acres. Like, it's a large area to ride in. And everything was overgrown, so we knew where the trails were, but I guess it was new to her. And there were bugs, and she was a little unprepared. And so we got halfway as far as we could go, and she started to cry uncontrollably.
Oh, really?
She started bawling. And, oh my God, we're never going to get home again.
I'm out here with the bugs.
Oh, no, not with the bugs. And I thought that would really be the deal breaker. She was terrified we were lost.
Oh, really?
And whenever you go somewhere new, you trample down the grass, especially in untamed land. You just, wherever you've been, it's like driving in the snow. You follow your tracks back. Of course you're going to get home. And I look back and I'm like, that's the way home. And she just, it wasn't working. She just was terrified. So some people need baby steps.
Smaller steps.
Because I sometimes forget me and my friend's level of adventurousness. let's go. There's got to be something over that bank, past that beaver dam, over that mountain.
Yeah, I want to see how far I can go.
Yes.
What's on the other side of that, and how the distance I can go. I like all of that kind of stuff. I never really realized that other people need to go
a little slower. Oh boy, some people I'm pretty sure the right mentality. You seem like the right mentality, but we'll never know until we get there, and we're gonna go.
Oh. I've been practicing.
Yeah, that's good, but you'll just have to go with the flow and even join in. Like you say, hey, let's go that way, because you see adventure over there.
Yes, I just started to think for just a moment about they're going to take me on some kind of height thing just because I said that. Later on, when you watch this video, if you see me on some place that's really high, you could cut to this and say, you said you were interested.
Well, in Manitoba, I guess there's high places, but we don't have a lot of mountainous areas in the southern Manitoba.
Well, yeah.
So there'd be like the river's edge where there's 20, 30 feet down. But
yeah, that's high.
Okay.
That's pretty high.
Okay, but you won't be like, I ride one place in northern Manitoba where we looked on GPS, is 1,550 feet high.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
And there's a cliff that you can stand with your toes hanging over the edge and look down and see, you can see out for well over 50 miles.
That right there is already giving me heart palpitations. No, it's not.
And you know what? I'd love to take you up there. You don't have to go anywhere near the cliff.
Oh my.
But the ride up there is all like a road. It's all flat. There's no high places you can see. There's all trees and bush. But you don't even realize you're going up, except for if you stop, you roll backwards. It's that steep.
Oh.
And you're driving up for over an hour. And then when you get to the top, you could look out. It's amazing.
It sounds so beautiful.
It is beautiful up there. People, even Manitoba, Canada, is deceptive. The places that you don't know until you get off your butt and go and see what's possible.
That's in Manitoba?
That's in Manitoba. It's mountain.
Oh, really?
Porcupine Mountain. I'm actually from there. Yeah. My grandparents were there from just about beginning to end.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I buried them up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's actually quite nice, actually.
Well, I think about it more now, but at the time it was just they wanted to be buried a certain place, and my uncle was getting a little bit older and asked me if I would dig the hole, and no problem.
That's so awesome because they can become trees and part of the earth and stuff like that. So
they're part of the mountain where they loved it.
Yeah, it's great. I think that's wonderful. So you're the Porcupine Mountain man.
Yeah, I guess so. She's trying to give me something, but don't worry about it. There'll be plenty. Yeah. So sometimes some of the Americans, they call me the crazy Canadian.
Oh, I can see that. What about the crazy Canuck?
I don't know. They don't use the word Canuck. Half the time it's just the Canadian or the crazy Canadian.
So you like to go to lots of events here in Canada and in the U.S. as well. Right?
Yeah, I would go to a lot more if finances would dictate, but it always requires planning. If you don't have a lot of money, plan. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Nothing's going to happen. You talk and talk and talk. This is actually a really good story. When I was first trying to get my way, I got badly injured in a car crash. We'll elaborate on that maybe another day. That's a bit of a story unto itself. I had nothing but time, and I was doing the ATVing thing again as a new thing because I'd taken a break from it, and I decided when I came back, I enjoyed it as much as I ever did. I got onto the internet and found out there was more three-wheeler people like myself. So there's this thing called Trike Fest down in the USA, and I'm like, I want to go to that, and I have a whole bunch of friends locally, and as far as Winnipeg, that they all are into this as well. And I bugged them for years. If they're watching this, you devils know. Peter, finally he went. Jordan, the list goes on. There's too many. Yes, I'm calling you guys out. You still have never come. And there's Troy, and there's Chad. One day, the big finger. Yeah. But after 2 or 3 years, after the second year, I would say, "Let's go." I booked the time off. We're going. Oh yeah, we're going. And as the months would get closer, one would peel off. No, I can't. I got a wedding. Oh, I got an excuse. Oh, I got this or that. When I say booked off, there's no excuse that gets in the way. If you want something in your life to happen, you got to tell people, I'm sorry, I have plans.
Yeah.
Don't be sorry, but tell them you're sorry that you're going to miss their event or
I apologize that I can't make it to your event.
That's right. But I had plans.
I'm going ATV and I already planned it for a month, so.
Or I planned it for a whole year ahead.
Oh,
anyway,
really?
And the second year they did the same thing. I had 3 guys going to go with me. They all one by one bailed. And then the third year, I'm like, they're all going to bail on me again. I'm like, the heck with it. I'm going by myself.
Absolutely.
Screw it.
Absolutely.
So I shored up a bunch of money just in case. And sure enough, they all one by one let me down. Rat bastards. And I jumped in my truck and I went. And my one friend, Peter, I believe, I called Peter to tell him I was going. And his face, or his voice was priceless. He goes, like, you're by yourself? Yeah. Oh, I'm sociable. I meet people. I couldn't have had a better time if I had dreamed it up. It was such a great time. I got there. I had driven 20 some hours. I was so exhausted. And more than 20 some hours. I drove from the oil rigs in Alberta. It was 14 hours to get home.
Oh, really?
And then I wrenched on my bikes for 3 hours to get things so that they would run. And because I was poor at planning stuff, I had so much going on at work. And hit the road. And I went out, made the trip. My eyes were so red. And when I got there, there's actually a video on YouTube of that already of me coming into there. I had my camera out. It was a genuine moment. I go, this may never happen again. And I had brought cameras. I don't even think I had an iPhone back then. I had no other way. I had just a digital camera that took little movies. And I just let it run from me driving into the entrance place to this mystical land of people like me, and like that they'll not so much make fun of me for my unique habit, but rejoice in the fact that they're skilled riders like myself and people that like to build these things and keep them alive and use them. And it's just interesting.
Camaraderie.
Yes, exactly right. And when I came in, a guy looked at me, my face, I'm sure my eyes were blood red, and he goes, holy, you look tired, sir. He goes, where'd you come from? I said, I come down from Manitoba, Canada. Canada! Oh my God. He says, how long have you been on the road? I said, oh, probably 20, 22 hours area.
Wow.
He goes, wow. He says, oh my God, let's get this guy a chair. So they sat me down. The hospitality was like this since the beginning. It's still going on every time I come. They sat me down, put a beer in my hand, put a smoky in my hand, a little tray of strawberries and whatever was around, and here, help yourself. Like, tell us your story. Where are you from? Like, genuinely interested in, this new crazy character coming out from a different country to enjoy their festival. And it was the best time ever. I actually was running on adrenaline. I think I partied till 2 a.m.
Oh, really?
Even after all that drive, I was drinking beers and telling stories, and they were telling me their stories, and we were laughing and having a great time I didn't want it to end. And then I slept for maybe 4 or 5 hours. Next morning, the same thing, and looked at these things I'd seen on YouTube, like the Devil's Backbone Hill Climb. Scared the hell out of me.
What is that? Well, we'll get to that.
I still haven't done it.
Oh, really?
And you know me.
It must be scary.
I was by myself. That was what was stopping me. I was by myself. It's jagged. Like when you're climbing a hill and something's sticking out and you could possibly hit a tire, it'll kick you backwards, and you're already almost at the point of balance because it's so steep. It's really, really steep. And I saw those jutted out rocks. I'm like, I'm going to die here. Yeah. I won't have it my first year. So I was too late for the official hill climb. So I just left it be. And I thought I'll get to it next year maybe without someone as a safety net to pick up my carcass. I'm not going to take a chance. And in the States where the medical bill would bankrupt me.
Oh, yeah.
So if I go down, break an arm, puncture some lungs and whatever, and the machine stuck it to my chest, so who's going to... Oh, yeah, no, I could do without that.
Yeah.
I just said, you know what, I'll do what I know I can do well, and I'm going to have fun at my speed, not feel like I got to perform.
Right.
I'm just going to have a good time at whatever my good time is. So not feeling like, because they didn't know me anyway. They had no expectations that I could ride or that I could do anything. And then I camped next to Brad, if you're listening, I still remember you and Connor, and you guys welcomed me to our little camp. We kind of made friends and started looking for each other every time we got a camp together. It's a blast. It never fails to make me laugh. You guys are always a lot of fun. My friends from Georgia, Georgia Peaches.
Oh, really? Everybody was there.
Oh, yeah. Tennessee. All those Tennessee boys made me laugh. Oh, man. I got that video somewhere. The accents are just so much for me to absorb being as Canadian as I am.
Yes.
I remember this young kid, he was hiding behind his dad laughing at my accent.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He was chuckling and just hiding behind his dad, trying not to, he was almost crying laughing. And I was running around like, what's so funny? What's so funny? And he goes, his brother had to tell him, it's your accent, it's killing him. I said, well, I like a good laugh. So I walked around chasing him with dad, talking to him. And he was just in tears laughing.
Say A one time.
A. You know A?
Say it in a sentence.
Yeah. You gotta,
I love ATV.
my bike rolled off the cliff, And yeah. Like, I don't think we use it all that much.
I don't think so.
Like I have a few times on purpose when I know I know some of you guys are watching me in the States.
They're probably laughing at us.
Yeah, they my normal speech, like right now, that's comical to some of them.
Wow.
It's different, that's all. It's just like when those guys from Alabama, they were drinking moonshine and talking to me. It was killing me.
Oh, that would be
I had to riot. Those guys were so much fun, and they could ride. A couple of those guys were my equal, no doubt. And I don't give that away easy. No, they're really amazing guys. I got some videos of that somewhere. I got too much video I took, and I thought I was actually taking the video so that when I get old and you tell the stories of when you were young or younger, you don't have any reference, and there's no excuse now. Cameras are so cheap.
Yes.
You can have your memory of some new experience you did and have it with you forever.
Yes.
And then in the event anyone were to show interest, oh, that sounds like that'd be cool to watch that. You don't force it on people because nobody wants to watch your boring home movies.
Right.
Like to some people, ATV, what we do is they can fall asleep. It's of no interest. But the people that they are interested, they've got an avenue to pursue that they can say, hey, I follow Asta Cruiser on YouTube.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, Asta Cruiser is the King Kong of ATV personalities, and he's just doing his thing. And I met him twice. He came to Manitoba to ride, and I'm into his videos, and I think that's hilarious that he decided it was worth throwing me and my buddy into his video.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh well, I just feel more differently about it than like in the old days. A TV show, it has such high production value, but now because it's guys with GoPros and people with freedom to an imagination, that it doesn't feel like such a big production. That it doesn't feel like you're under the microscope.
Right.
So it's not like, oh my, I was on TV. Like
we're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube
and
shot.
And so were those people that were actors in the old days.
Oh, I never thought of it like
They were just actors putting on an act. They just happened to have, when this stuff was unaffordable to the average person. It seemed like fantasy land. People's imaginations exploded, which was great. It got people like, wow, this guy's famous. Everybody knows who he is. It's an amazing thing. Well, it's still amazing in its own way, but it really should be more inspiring.
I think so, yeah.
Like, really, whatever you do, I have a hometown friend that I've known him since elementary school. He builds chests, and I had no idea. He does it in his basement.
What mean those?
Like
some of those
a fancy chest with little brass hinges and everything.
Oh, I've seen one at the thrift store here. It was gorgeous.
I'm gonna introduce you to this guy, and you're gonna be able to see some of his work. I'm gonna eventually have to get him to make me something. There's people in their basements in the country hiding their talent.
Yes.
And there's room for us all out there.
Yes.
Whatever your talent may be, like you got to explore that and share it, and not so much to show off, but hopefully to inspire
and to grow themselves
and your possibilities of what you could do.
Yes. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this YouTube channel with you is since I moved to the country, I noticed that there are a lot of country people doing exactly what he's saying. they're so talented with things that they don't see that how huge that talent is. They meet your friend with the chest in the basement. Some woman, they knit these beautiful blankets, or one of our friends, things, and he fixed all these. I'm like, why don't you people show this to the world? But because you've been doing this your whole life,
it doesn't seem like anything.
Yeah, they don't see it as something.
And there are, granted, many other people doing it, but you have to have the right reasons to show it. Like myself, people have tried to kind of make me feel like a minor celebrity because they always ask me for my advice on stuff. I remember more than a few people have asked me extremely complex questions that seemingly are an easy question to ask. And my phone is ridiculous with phone numbers and messenger stuff that they want to know this and that. And yeah, that's great, but there's only one of me. So that's why this will really fall well into place to speed up the process. I got to be able to mass produce it because there's only so much time I have in the day. My hours get used up. You don't want to see anybody not have opportunity to grow. And I feel like I've known so many people, they grew up without fathers, grew up without mothers. There are just certain options that just weren't theirs.
Yeah.
And so when they're out asking for help, they just didn't have anyone they could ask at home.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, it's good. You know what? I was actually a little bit fantasizing about being able to do this, so that when people call me for something crazy or text me, that I go see my channel and I can move on, because I'm going to be on the phone for 2 hours.
I have some ideas about, but I'm not going to share them with you guys. But not yet. But I have some ideas, so I think it'll be really good.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they have Patreon in Canada.
What's that?
It's where people do memberships. So they put money into the Patreon account and then say there'll be something that they get for that. So each month or whatever. But I don't know fully how it works. I'll have to look into that. But I thought that's a great way to be able to travel, go to riding events and stuff like that. Having the subscribers be the ones that are also like, but they're not getting it for free. They get something, not for free, but you're not getting nothing. So.
You're losing me. And you know it's good, because if you're losing me, then some of them are getting lost.
Am I losing you? I don't know if you have Patreon here in Canada, but from what my understanding is that it is like a membership to the channel. So it would be something like each month you would see new videos of James riding or something like that. And so for the membership, they get something. So each month they put in like $20 or $10. For $5, you get to watch videos of James riding. For $10, you get to see how to fix something quick or whatever. It's like a tiered system.
Okay.
And each month they pay money for seeing it.
We'll
I don't fully know how that works.
We'll see how that goes. I don't. I have to leave that to your capable hands.
I will check it out.
See, that's why I have Natalie in my life for sure.
Thanks.
Is that she's the brains, like the computer brain, the knowledgeable about editing, knowledgeable about marketing, just overall knowledgeable about the stuff that I myself don't have that much interest in. I just don't. It's not my thing. It's her thing. She's been doing it for, how long have you been doing it?
Oh my goodness.
I would imagine almost
20 years.
I was going to say almost since the internet began.
I'm not that old, James. I am not that old, but I've been doing it a long time. So yeah, I think that's, And the stuff that you help me with is, I want to know about how vehicles work. Like, coming from the city, I don't know anything about this stuff. Like, I take a taxi. If I want to get someplace, or I order it, or, it just arrives.
Magically.
Yeah, I say, okay, I want to have, I don't know, whatever I want to have. And then I make a phone call, and then it's there. I don't know. Or if I want to go someplace, I call someone, they come and get me, and then I'm there. So it doesn't work like that in the country.
Not only that, but it really, in a lot of ways, shouldn't work that way in the city. That's why cities eventually become so crazy.
Yes.
Like if you're in like New York or Los Angeles or Cairo or someplace where the population is too much for the area, people do get crazy.
That's probably why they're so angry, because they expect everything like that. Right?
Yes, for sure. And the stress of you can't get peace. You can't. Everywhere you go, there's a person.
Oh, absolutely.
Everywhere you go, there's a person. There's somebody either in your way or you're in their way. So you're always at like a cat with his hair up.
Like, especially if you go to the beach or something, it's so weird to be at the beach and have all these people right next to you. Why did you go to relax at the beach? They're right there. Like,
well, when we quad, you beach by yourself.
I want to go someplace where there's no one. You know, there's a Dixie chick song like that, and they're just I can't remember what it's called. But,
Wide Open Spaces.
Yeah, Wide Open Spaces. Hey, Dixie chicks, excellent. Yeah, I love it because that's what the country is. You know, I like to go outside my door and it's miles. There's no one else. I love it.
And you can't hear nothing but the animals.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's just so beautiful. And at nighttime, it's quiet.
Like it's gonna happen. I don't know how long it'll take because we both have lives, but I need to take you up north to where my cousin lives, and we're going up to Spider Lake.
Oh, up north is beautiful. Oh,
well, we're gonna get lots of videos of that.
Of fishing, snowmobiling. It's gorgeous. If you're in a city right now, the country is probably one of the best places. I understand why all the tourists come and they want to take pictures and get the peace sign, whatever, but it's gorgeous out here.
Yeah, and to have quiet. And also the stars are different. Like, you think you see stars here? Even here. And it's really much, much better than Winnipeg or any other major city. Yeah, go where I go.
Up north is beautiful.
When I go up there and you look at this, you can almost see the ribbons of the solar system.
I went to one place, and I think it's called the Aurora Borealis.
Gorgeous. Yeah, the Northern Lights.
The Northern Lights.
Oh, the Northern Lights up there will blow your mind.
It looked like the Northern Lights were like right there on the ceiling, like close.
Like blankets.
Yeah, just right close. I was like, oh my goodness, this place is amazing. So you got to get out of your house.
You got to get moving.
Yeah, you have to get out of your house. I know that a lot of us are, I don't know if I'm speaking, maybe I am speaking directly to you. If you're sitting at your computer a lot, how I used to sit at my computer all the time, focusing in on the computer, that is not the world.
That's not life.
That's not life, and that is not the world. You're just seeing an image that's being, as you know, you're just seeing an image that somebody either took or you're seeing through the camera lens. I know it's really weird, but you have to put your phone down sometimes, if maybe not in a safe situation, right? You need to put your phone down, look away from your phone, and you need to close your computer and walk away from it. And I know it's really, really weird, but you have to do it and go outside and just look up outside, look up, and have contact, communication with another human being. I know it sounds really weird because I'm talking to you. I know it does, maybe not to you because you're an outside person.
Yeah.
But I'm an inside person.
I understand that. And you know what? I was going to elaborate, but I would let you finish your thought.
Yeah, I'm an inside person. So there are other people like me that we're sitting at our computers and we're like, it's almost like the computer's connected to us. We're Borg, right? We're the Borg. But you need to get away from that. But, hey, man.
Yeah.
We're Borg. So you need to...
If you're a Star Trek person.
Yeah.
I actually know what that is.
Cool. Okay. So I'm a Star Trek geek a little bit. So yeah, you need to put the computer and the laptop, everything, put it down and go outside. And that's why I wanted to show you also parts of me with James going and doing ATVing. Because if I can do these things, you can do these things too. So that's why I want to show you this stuff.
It takes me back to a thought I have a very young cousin that she was in a very minor car. I wouldn't say it wasn't really a collision. She lost control of her vehicle that she was driving down a back road. A deer jumped out in front of her. And she panicked and didn't know what to do. And she said, suddenly I was in the ditch. I'm like, okay. So you froze inside, outside, you just locked up and did not think when a situation presented itself. Meanwhile, had you gone out, like, she got her driver's license, I would probably say closer to 18 than anything. I was driving at 11. I was driving cars and Suburbans and trucks and whatever was laying around. You get your experience so that when you get on the road and you're going faster speeds, you already have the concepts down. Like I think ATVing is a really excellent tool to teach young people how to start, go, control a vehicle at speeds so that you feel safe when dangers present themselves.
Yes.
And so when I was talking to her about it and she says, I was in the ditch. Like she just blacked out. So, okay, you didn't learn nothing. Like I can appreciate that you're scared. And she probably sat there for a minute or 5 minutes and tried to collect herself because she was shattered and didn't understand even what happened. And that's a horrible place to be. You just feel powerless. Because then you're at the mercy of, had she hit the deer, she'd probably be in the loony bin.
Oh, I would be in the loony bin this year.
Oh, I've hit a couple of deers. They just go flying. Sometimes they're unavoidable.
That's what I'm talking about, the country.
Yeah.
they just go flying.
Yeah, it's just a different perspective.
I am thinking of that movie where the deer wakes up in the back. Caddyshack?
No, Chris Farley and David Spade. That's a Black Sheep. She was feeling powerless and in a bad situation. And then I spoke to her and I said, okay, where were you? I'm trying to really grasp the whole picture. And she goes, okay, I was down the old gravel road. She described it to me. Okay, I know where you are. She says, there was a curve there. Okay, I know exactly where you are. And I said, you know that'll happen there every time, right?
Oh, every time?
Yeah.
Oh, like a panic attack? Or
no,
a deer?
The deer.
Really?
It'll happen. There'll be deer there all the time.
Oh, really?
I personally hit a deer there with my quad.
Oh, that's awful.
Doing 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour. Wow. Boy, the lights went out that night.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, though, I'll save that story for another time. That's a good one. I think I got pictures of it somewhere. I said there's a cornfield there. Deer love to snack on corn, and it's right beside the Red River. There's a river right there, so there's tree coverage. So they got shelter and they got food, and it's right next to a road. So they got to cross the road to get to the cornfield. So what are your odds you're going to see a deer in that little narrow corridor?
Quite high.
Very high. And I told her, if you want to avoid that situation forever, just take the highway. It's a quarter mile further. You save a quarter mile. And it takes all that stress out of your mind because you have knowledge of why those deer are there.
I think that's a good explanation about what to do. I would also go back to the same situation and drive slow.
Really I also did mention that to her. I said, you could drive as slow as you need. Slow is safety.
Right.
So if you got to creep in there, oh, there's a deer over there. You honk your horn a little bit, he sees you, and he runs away.
But it's also for the anxiety of it to try to get past the moment.
To build your confidence.
Yeah.
And I did mention that. I guess that's good that you brought it up. I did mention to her that to go back through there as slow as you need. Go in the daytime first, not nighttime.
And I didn't think of that myself. We discussed that a little bit last night, but I remembered what you were saying about that. But yeah.
And when you're learning something new, always just go slow. I remember when I was a kid, I started jumping my dirt bike, and I don't know how young I was, but little jumps, and whoa, you get uncomfortable. Yeah, and then you often end up on your front tire, and that's a bad place because you could, if your jump was high enough, you would just flip right over and land on you.
Oh.
So that'd be the worst thing that could happen. So you learn to lean back and hit the gas a little bit and get it to level out. So that you're landing a little bit more on the rear tire, and then eventually you get your balance right, you land on both tires. It's a nice smooth landing, as smooth as it can get anyway. But to start slow and little jumps. When I always get nervous when I see young people getting excited by stuff that I do,
right?
And then they think they can do it because they saw it.
Right.
That's the thing that I'm trying to fight against.
Yes. Okay.
So that they can understand that I'm 47 years old, and I started probably riding my first ATV when I was 4, maybe 5 years old. A homemade thing we had put together. It's accumulated knowledge. It's like a guy shooting archery. He didn't hit the target the first time out. He practiced and practiced and practiced, and he found his way to the target. Like you got to keep doing it, and don't get discouraged if you have a little bump in the road. I've had a couple of bumps. Cut leg, stitches here, stitches there. It's not the end of the world. It means I was going too fast.
People always are talking of, not always, but a lot of people talk about their broken bones and things like that. I've never broken anything, and I hopefully will not. But I was like,
But
oh,
it's an experience, though.
Oh, I don't want that experience.
No. But
I don't want a broken bone experience.
Nobody wants it. Nobody wants a broken bone. But if and when it has to happen for whatever reason, to go, oh, it's not quite as painful as I thought, as I imagined. It's really not. It's actually, the bone itself doesn't hurt. It's if the bone were to break off and cut at stuff, the meat, then that hurts.
This is what I'm talking about these country people.
These country people.
These country people. There's a group of these country people I know, and they talk like this. They like so free, like, yeah, the bone's moving around in my shoulder. I was just like, this is what they talk like. Like, it's just totally normal.
But it can be comedy. Actually, my one brother, he came to a party. He hit a deer with a squad, and he broke his collarbone in a couple places. And as the party was going, because he didn't want to leave, he just started drinking to shake the pain. And as the party was going on, you could see a head growing. He'd probably open it every once in a while, turn darker and almost black.
You guys.
You're laughing though.
Oh my goodness. That's what I mean. It's so great out here. It's so different and so great. You've got to go in the country. You got to meet these people.
You just have to expand your vision of what life can be. I met more than a few people that they said that they could live within 5 blocks because they could do their taxes, they could pay their rent, they didn't need a car. It's a prison. It's a prison. I don't know. I don't understand it. I figure, what are you going to say about your life when it's over? That I stayed and I was safe. I never chipped a fingernail. I never got an owie in my life. I never lived to do anything. Like, that's not living. That's existing. That's
scary.
It's sad. It's not scary. It's sad. It's really sad. I think it's horrible.
5 blocks. You need to get to know other kinds of people.
Oh yeah.
Like other everything. Like out here, there's Mennonites.
Yeah.
Mennonites. I met some people that did Low German, Russians. I want to know every kind of person, because every kind of person has a different looking at the way they look at the world. I want to travel and see things and learn new things, like this ATV.
Yeah.
So much fun. You know, these are things that
you're hooked.
Oh yes. I'm scared. Like, I was going to put some jumps in my front lawn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing about the country. You could do so many things in the country.
There's freedom. You got room.
Nobody to complain.
You can drive it to the next town.
Yeah.
I used to use it for bar hopping when I was a young man.
Yeah, it's cool. You got to. Not that you have.
Not that that's a good idea.
Don't. That's.
Not everybody's me.
Yeah, not everybody's Jane. But yeah, you have to you have to meet new people, try new things in life, and move away from the computer. The life is not the computer.
Yeah, that's really well said. And also, like my little cousin I spoke to earlier, she's whenever I come to visit, this is what I get. I don't even barely get acknowledgement to look up at me.
It's so weird.
Oh, it's terrible. And she doesn't get to know anything. And so when these things happen, she's called me a few times, come pull me out of the ditch, come rescue me from this situation, whatever the deal is. And it's only going to get worse because she has no independence. She doesn't know how to defend herself.
Oh my goodness.
Her driving is just to say that she can pass the test.
Oh, really?
There's no skills there. If there's a problem, she could not drive her way out of it.
I watched The Walking Dead, and I have been watching horror movies my whole life. I want to know how to fix the ATV. I want to know how to drive all these things. If someone is chasing me, and this could be actually a serious thing. Some women out there, even guys, you need to know how to take care of yourself. You need to know how to fix the machines, how to drive it correctly. All these things. It sounds funny in the Walking Dead zombie kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's like a trigger for your imagination. Like, did you just feel powerless?
Yeah,
if you're out there, what happens if you're alone?
Yeah, what happens if you go somewhere and your car breaks down and you don't know how to change the tire? Like, what are you going to do?
That actually just happened to other people I know.
Yeah, what are you going to do? I think it's called AAA, AAA or whatever, something like that. Or the tow truck driver can't come over there, or if the snow's too deep. You got to figure out, like, I know that sometimes they dig holes in the outdoor education. You dig a snow hole,
Yep.
and then you can get down inside the snow hole for the insulation
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and comfortable. You need to learn these things because if you're a country people are probably like, yeah, whatever.
Oh,
But
my.
the city people, you're people from the country. I don't know if is that derogatory, country.
I don't care. Country people.
Okay.
Actually, it's a point of pride.
Yeah, these country people. Speaking to you people in the city, we think that we know a lot of stuff. I know that, not that we think that. I'm not talking for, maybe I'm talking for a lot of us.
They get a bit smug because they think they got control of whatever.
Yeah.
They're more often than not. There's definitely some humble people everywhere.
There is.
But there's just a lot more that they've got control over. Like, sure, within your little microcosm,
because we can
you're
order
good to go.
everything on
you
the
can
phone.
just get it to come to you.
Some of these.
But somebody had to grow that. Someone had to build that.
Yes, and it's these country people. And what I noticed really is the things that we take maybe for granted a lot. Like how I say, you know what I'm talking about. Going, the mall is there. You can get whatever you want anytime you want. Clothes, whatever you need. These country people. Lots of us in the city, we think, and I've been in the city my whole life, right? So
yeah, that's good to get across.
I understand. I've been in the city my whole life. I'm a city person. I don't know anything about the country except for there's pretty trees and there's lots of pretty snow. And I've been near a horse 3 times in my life. I think I rode a horse once. I got chased by some cows once. This girl, she took me to a cow field with her family. And they had all these cow patties, and she's running, and she knew which cow patties to avoid. I didn't, and these cows were lumbering. I didn't know that cows are dangerous. But us city people, we tend to think that we know everything, and we've got the great clothes and everything. These country people don't know anything. These country people know so much stuff. They know how to survive in certain situations. They can cook for themselves. They know how to preserve. I know these sound like things that they aren't huge things, but these are huge life things. They have life skills that we don't have. You might think canning is nothing. Who wants to can? Well, when your life depends on, maybe you lose your job and you can't afford to go and buy all the asparagus and all those nice things, or go to the Asian place that you like eating, or have your $50 steaks. What are you going to do? You have to know how to take care of yourself. You can survive. $20 worth of groceries, canned and everything, will keep you alive and keep you healthy and everything.
And what do seeds cost?
Yeah, seeds are nothing.
They're nothing. $1, $2.
You can take care of yourself, Everything doesn't have to be as expensive as they show us in the city, as well as just fixing things, knowing how to fix your car. Your car breaks down, you don't know. But it's also, there's something different that I noticed about country people. Country people, sometimes they won't let you in very easily because I think it's back to their old ways of village mentality. But they are really caring and take care of their group of people. It's a very safe, I don't know if it's the same.
I think you maybe run into a bad batch early on. A lot of people are pretty welcoming to new people. As long as they're friendly to begin with, if they come off with an attitude, then we shut down. Mm-hmm. But if you come in with an attitude who would...
That's true. These country people, I really think that we need to give them more of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Hats off.
More props.
Props.
More props.
Man, the stuff I get, I remember meeting like this Chinese man. I worked with him in Saskatchewan, and he loved the city because you can eat delicious food, you can eat all. And I said, well, where did that delicious food come from?
Yeah.
Someone had to grow it. It didn't grow from the city.
And they are hard workers. There's hard worker on your computer. You work hard, fall asleep on your computer. There's a level of, maybe that's where that comes from, salt of the earth or whatever.
Okay.
These people that are really grounded in there, they get up, they work really hard, they get that food for us. So where the food comes, it goes into the box. That's how you're eating, is these country people. So yeah, you're not eating these country people. This is not The Walking Dead. But I'm trying to explain to you that us in the city need to, I believe, give these people out here in the country a lot more hats off.
And to go a step further, if I might, it's really, really sucks for a lot of country people that most city people are deciding our fate. Meaning with politics and voting, cities just outnumber us. So when they take gun laws away, How could they know there would be a cougar in my backyard and I could defend my children?
Or a giant bear.
Or a bear. There's people in Alberta, there are bears in the backyard. Grizzly bears, they're pretty rough if they feel your territory is being bothered.
Yeah, some of these animals come out and they'll like, I have dogs. They take the pets. They just take it like that. And that could be your little kid in the backyard playing.
Yeah, or your pet.
Or you.
Or your pet or yourself.
Or you.
Like like I understand the reasoning, but you have to make a difference between country life and city life. Of course, there's not a lot of reason to have a gun in the city. There's not. It invites trouble. But in the country, it can be a necessity. It can really be a necessity. It's just it's very frustrating. Like, I'm sure some city people are frustrated when it comes to the country. They don't know what to do, but they really are missing out on an opportunity to learn. When they're out here, like, where does your food come from? Safeway. Oh, that answer kills me. It kills me. The young people, the store. Where did the store get it from? That just drives me insane.
And I was doing a lot of veganism, going back into being vegan. And it's really weird because out here in the country, it sounds so strange, but they actually treat the animals okay. It's weird. It's so weird because I'm not going to talk about this fully in this.
Yeah, we'll make a video if we want to discuss that.
There's a lot of stuff, but they're actually, I don't know, the country's okay. So I wanted to show you this, and we'll talk some more about this in a moment.
Yeah.